Hey, Westside, this is Pastor Ralph, and I wanted to do an update on some of the things that we are doing this week in response to COVID-19. We originally planned on having a special session meeting on Tuesday night, but as changes were being made about restrictions on group sizes and gatherings, we needed to make adjustments. And that reminds me, one of the things that I really want to encourage in this time is, as a church, we are going to promote best practices. And the government is trying to give us guidance so that we can really slow the arc of the spread of this disease. And so we as a church should really seek to be models and examples of saying, okay, we're going to do everything that we can to both comply and to lovingly be willing to make restrictions. And so with session, we postponed the meeting till Thursday with a smaller group of less than 10, which was just a few elders, and then two doctors in our congregation, Eric Isaacson and Lou Kusa. And we wanted to talk with them a little bit about giving advice to session about the nature of this disease, and then really thinking through our responses, both how to care for one another as a church family, and then as our witness to the community. And one of the things that stood out from that conversation, both from Lou and Eric, was really the encouragement of best practices. Lou made a comment that we have this narrow window of time where we can take these actions of practicing social distancing, really quarantining ourselves so as to stop the spread of COVID-19. Eric made a comment about the nature of this specific disease. That typically with flu viruses, it starts sometime in October and may start at one part of the country. And over the course between October through May, by the time May comes around, it may have spread across the country where that strain of flu is infecting people. And then it gets summertime and it dies out, and there's your flu season. This disease has spread around the world in a matter of months. The rate of contagion and then the death rates are alarming. And what we're trying to do, and this is why I want to say we as a church, we want to promote best practices, is we want to slow its spread so that we don't overwhelm the system. This has happened in other parts of the world, like Italy, and so this is our encouragement to our whole church family. Let's do everything that we can to follow the guidelines, be good citizens, take appropriate measures, practice social distancing. For that reason, we have closed the building, the church buildings, for all use by groups. Again, encouraging people to practice social distancing. This is a short period of time. That'll be until session approves, but we are thinking at least until the 1st of April, because that's right now the window of time that we're being given. Along with this, want to say that we are going to continue to seek to live into being the church together. And, with the best practices, somebody asked me, you've been sick, did you get tested? If you're sick, you should call your healthcare provider and follow their guidance. I called my healthcare provider, gave them a list of symptoms. They said, I'm not a candidate. I don't need to be tested. We walked through the things, and they said, okay, you are at a place where you can go out now. It's been long enough since that you've had the chills that you can do this. These are the sorts of things we all need to be doing. We are going to continue meeting online for worship, and so we're gearing up for this Sunday that we will have at 9:45 on Facebook. You go to Westside Church Richland, and if you haven't done this yet, I encourage you. Facebook is the best way to do it. It allows us to engage in person. One of the things that we want to encourage you to do is to engage. When you join with Facebook, you can sign in. You can let people know that you're there. We're wanting to have that sense of community, that we are gathering together. One of the hopes and one of the things that we plan on doing is, if you go on and you subscribe to Facebook, our Facebook page, it will tell you when we go live. Then you can choose to opt in and be part of what's happening live at the time. This Sunday, we're planning on doing prayers of the people, and if you share your prayer request and through the chat room while the service is going on, we're going to take all of those things and we're going to lift up all the prayer requests in that service. And so we also are wanting to make sure that we can both care for one another as well as be a witness to our community. And that was part of the meeting that I had last night. A number of things that we're not going to be able to do, but there's two things that really came out of that meeting that said we're going to begin working on this. But what underlies our response is this: we really are looking to up our game as far as being connected together as a community, and in part that means understanding how we communicate. We have a website, we have constant contact, we have Facebook, we have email, and then in emergencies, we also have a flash alert. Ideally, you would be connected in all of those ways. You would be subscribed to our Facebook page. I have not been a Facebook person, but in response to all these things, I joined Facebook a couple of days ago. You subscribe to the Facebook page. If you know somebody in the church who isn't receiving emails, encourage them to call the church and give us your email address so we can get this information out. If you aren't signed up for Constant Contact, again, contact the church office. We would love to be able to really push this information so that you know when we have information we're trying to get out, that it's coming to you. And then you can always check the website. So that's the first thing. We've got to get that communication link and you be in contact and us be in contact with you. The other thing that we talked about was really wanting to be able to care for one another. And while social distancing is the main way we're going to do it, what happens if somebody gets quarantined and they're not able to leave their house? We want to make sure that there is a support network in place. We're encouraging all of our life groups really to live into being the family of God. I think it's pretty natural if you're in a life group that you're going to care for one another. But if you're not in a life group, you can expect that our deacons and other church leaders are going to call and reach out to you to help you. Call your deacon, and they will look to try to mobilize. So one thing in particular that we think we will be able to do, and we're 14-day quarantine, there is altogether the likelihood that people will need to get some food and supplies. And so that's one of the things where we're thinking that we're going to build up a team of people who will be trained and who are willing and able, that if somebody in the church family does get sick, that we can be part of the link of helping get some of the stuff that they need from the places of purchase to them. And then as far as being a witness out into the world, we have the opportunity. Marcus Whitman Elementary reached out to us about really continuing in a modified form our Bite to Go program, and so this Friday is taken care of, but next Friday we are planning on having a volunteer or two who are at the church and will be handing out food. And depending on how this goes and how long it goes, there may be the need for both more financial support, practical support, and supplies. But we'll keep you updated on that. One of the other ways that we're looking to try to serve is to provide more online content. Today, I started a Bible study on Facebook Live at 9 o'clock, and we are studying hope and difficulty because my computer ran out of its battery, and my docking station broke at the same time, and that has never happened before. So, there are definitely things that are trying to make challenge for us to do these things. But we had our first study, and it is something where I want to encourage you. We want to be growing, and we want to be encouraging one another. Ben is going to be working with the youth, and he's got ideas, and he's going to start doing some different online things, both with middle school and high schoolers. And then the Grovers have already been at work, and They will be providing information and videos and different sorts of ways to help encourage. Christian Jackson with young adults, the same thing. We across the board are going to be trying to provide more resources online, both of things that we do as well as connections to things, especially as people have more time on their hands. And finally, the last thing is just an encouragement of saying, things are changing, and it's troubled times, and because we're not gathering together on Sunday morning, it's maybe a little bit more difficult. But would just ask and encourage you to continue to support through prayer, through giving, as well as an openness as we have opportunity to really living into being on mission together as a church family. I'm going to give you another update later on in the week as far as things that come from session, but I just wanted you to hear these things now, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. God bless. Take care. Bye.